A treasure hunter embarks on an expedition to uncover the legendary Nazi gold train lost at the end of World War II, rumored to be filled with unimaginable wealth. But what he finds instead is something far darker. What secrets are buried beneath the ruins of history? Watch till the end to uncover the truth. It had been years since Ethan Blackwell first heard of the legendary Nazi gold train, a myth that had captured the imaginations of treasure hunters for decades. The tale began at the end of World War II, when the Nazis, in their retreat, allegedly sent a heavily guarded train filled with gold, art, and priceless treasures into the heart of Poland. The train was said to have vanished without a trace, leaving only whispers and rumors behind. For years, Ethan had dismissed the myth as nothing more than a fantasy. But after a chance encounter with an old World War II veteran, something changed. The veteran's story was different. He had seen the train, and he had told Ethan where to look. Ethan's heart raced with excitement and doubt as he packed his gear and prepared for the journey. The train's supposed resting place, an abandoned tunnel deep in the Polish countryside. What awaited him beyond the rusty gates of history? The journey was treacherous. The Polish forests, thick and impenetrable, seemed to close in on Ethan as he trudged through the mud. The veteran's cryptic words rang in his ears. The train's not hidden, it's buried. Ethan wasn't sure what that meant, but it drove him deeper into the woods, past broken fences, and into the forgotten heart of history. As he stumbled upon a crumbling railway line, he found a strange mark on a nearby tree. It was a faded symbol, a swastika, scratched into the bark. His pulse quickened. This was no coincidence. The clue had been left here, decades ago, by someone who had wanted to ensure the secret of the gold train remained safe. But the question was, who was it for, and why? A few days later, after extensive searching, Ethan found the tunnel. Hidden beneath a mound of earth, the rusted rails ran into the mouth of a dark cavern, an eerie silence surrounding it. As he ventured further inside, the temperature dropped. The air was thick with dust, and the faint smell of decay lingered. Ethan's flashlight flickered, casting long shadows against the stone walls. He spotted something, old Nazi insignia carved into the rock. His heart skipped a beat. This wasn't just a forgotten tunnel, it was a prison, and something had been kept here. The tunnel seemed to go on forever. His steps echoed against the walls, but then, suddenly, he heard something. A distant rumble. Was it the wind, or something far more sinister? Ethan's instincts screamed at him to turn back, but his curiosity pushed him forward. As he approached the center of the tunnel, he stumbled upon a rusted iron door, seemingly untouched by time. The door creaked as it opened, revealing a cavernous chamber. There, before him, stood a figure, a man, pale and gaunt, dressed in a faded German military uniform. His eyes glowed unnaturally in the dim light. Ethan froze. "You shouldn't be here," the figure rasped, his voice a hollow echo. Ethan's blood ran cold. The figure was not alive in the traditional sense. He was something more, something far darker, a guardian perhaps, bound by some ancient curse to protect the treasures of the train. And now, Ethan had disturbed him. Ethan stepped back, but the figure's eyes locked onto him. With a chilling screech, the man's form flickered, shifting between reality and something monstrous. Ethan's pulse quickened as he turned and bolted down the tunnel. As he ran, the walls seemed to close in, and a whispering voice followed him, growing louder with each step. "You cannot escape!" it hissed. Suddenly, a jagged rock broke loose from the ceiling, narrowly missing him. His heart raced as the tunnel seemed to shift, trapping him. Desperately, he searched for an exit, but the walls seemed to pulse with a dark energy. Ethan realized the curse had been unleashed, and now he was its target. Ethan stumbled into a vast chamber, and there, before him, stood the train. It was unlike anything he had ever imagined. An ornate, heavily armored vehicle, its surface gilded with gold and adorned with priceless treasures. But as Ethan stepped closer, he noticed something horrifying. The train was rusted, decayed, and embedded in the earth itself, as though it had been swallowed by the tunnel. The train wasn't just a vehicle, it was a tomb. And within it, something far more sinister than gold and treasures awaited. Ethan climbed aboard the train, stepping over broken pieces of the shattered windows. Inside, the gold was tarnished, the art faded and forgotten. But there was something else, something more disturbing. The train cars were filled with the remnants of human bodies, their faces frozen in agony. He had heard stories of Nazi experiments, but he never imagined they were connected to this cursed train. A twisted, dark energy had been unleashed here, something far beyond the treasures it held. Ethan now understood the full extent of the danger. The gold train was never meant to be found. It was a burial ground for the Nazis' darkest secrets. As Ethan examined the wreckage of the train, he uncovered a set of old journals. The pages, yellowed and torn, detailed horrific experiments, torture, manipulation, and the use of occult rituals. The Nazis had been trying to unlock the power of ancient artifacts they had stolen, attempting to create a new weapon, and the train, it seemed, was the vehicle for their horrifying plans. Ethan shuddered. He had unknowingly stumbled upon a far darker truth than gold. This wasn't just a treasure hunt. It was a race against time to prevent an ancient curse from spreading. The train was a trap, and it was ready to claim more victims. As Ethan sifted through the wreckage, he was struck by a chilling realization. The soldiers who had guarded the train had not died in battle. They had been transformed. Their bodies had been used as vessels, twisted and corrupted by dark magic. The figures he had seen earlier, the ones guarding the train, were once soldiers, now damned souls trapped in an eternal cycle. They had been part of the Nazi experiments, and their cursed existence was a warning to anyone who dared to uncover the truth. Ethan's mind raced. He couldn't stay here much longer. The curse had already claimed so many lives, and now it was after him. Desperate to leave, Ethan turned toward the tunnel, but the Guardian's voice echoed in his mind, urging him to stay. "You cannot leave with the knowledge you've gained. The price is your life." Ethan ignored the warning. He had come too far to turn back now. As he rushed toward the exit, the walls of the tunnel seemed to close in on him, but he managed to escape just in time. But as he emerged into the light, he knew it wasn't over. The curse would follow him, just as it had followed everyone else who sought the train. And now, Ethan Blackwell had become its latest victim. Back home, Ethan tried to warn others, but no one believed him. His journal was dismissed as fiction, and his warnings went ignored. The world had no idea of the ancient evil that had been awakened in the Polish forests, but the whispers continued. Others, too, began searching for the train. As the years passed, more and more treasure hunters disappeared, their fates a mystery. Some say they were claimed by the curse of the Nazi gold train, while others believe they were simply lost to time. But one thing was certain: Ethan's discovery had only been the beginning. Years later, as an older and broken Ethan sat alone in a small cabin, he heard a distant rumble. The ground shook beneath him, and the wind howled with an otherworldly intensity. It was coming. The train was returning. Ethan knew that the curse was far from over. The Nazi gold train had been hidden for a reason, and its power could never be contained. Now it was ready to claim its final victim, the world itself. As the earth cracked open and the train emerged from the darkness, Ethan could only watch in horror. The cycle was complete. The Nazi gold train had returned, and with it, the horror it carried.